Hi, everyone. My name is Brooke Mathieu, and I am the Senior Content Marketing Manager here at US Legal Marketing Group. We specialize in divorce and family law firm marketing for law firms all across the country, and we manage our own law firms. We have about 7 different law firms across 4 different states. We're super excited to be talking to you about are AI overviews stealing your law firm's traffic? And with me today, I have my counterpart, Will Chan. He is our Senior SEO Specialist. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to him. He's going to get into what AI search is and how it's impacting law firms.
Yeah, thank you, Brooke. So now let's get started. So what is AI search? Well, AI search is basically now using a generative AI to kind of deliver a summarized answer on the result page for you guys. So it provides immediate answers to any general or legal questions you may have. So how does this affect user behavior? Well, back then, when you did any search, for example, if you were to search how to file for a child custody, back in the traditional search way, it would present with you the top 10 blue links on the first page. And then from there, what users usually do is they would go through, I would say, like the top three results, go in, read the content on each one, research whether or not that is the right situation they are in, or if it provides the right value for them. And then from there, they would compare those top 3 links. They would compare those law firms to see if they're a good fit for them. And then from there, they would request a consultation. That essentially is the marketing funnel for a website: an informational stage, comparison stage, and then a transactional phase. So what AI search has done is it's completely removed that informational funnel from your website. It essentially now spoon feeds you the answer and has taken away that informational stage away from the user behavior now. So just generating leads now in general from organic search and informational queries has greatly declined. And on the next slide here, we talk about what impacts has happened. And as you can see here, and on our side, we are seeing that even for sites that haven't been significantly affected by the AI overviews, we are seeing still a generous drop of about 10 to 15%. But for sites that were heavily invested in the informational phase and informational content, we are seeing drops of about 30 to 40% organically. And this is even with stable transactional keywords. And when I say transactional keywords, this could be like Denver divorce lawyer, immigration lawyer, Texas. Even when these transactional keywords are in the top 3, we're still seeing about a 30 to 40% drop. So it is definitely a lot harder now to generate leads with only informational content. So again, with the removal of that informational phase from your website, informational content now feeds towards the AI answers and AI overviews instead of your website. So you might be wondering, is it still valuable to create informational content at all? And I can confidently say yes, it is still very important to create informational content, just because creating informational content will also improve your topical authority. And by improving topical authority, your transactional keyword rankings will also improve. So again, transactional keywords such as San Diego divorce attorney, when you search for these transactional keywords right now, the AI overview doesn't show up yet. So having that top 10 place ranking for that transactional keyword is still a very effective tool in driving leads to your website. And then another aspect is brand authority, which I'll talk about in the later slides. And then the importance of local SEO. So with the new AI overview appearing on the SERPs, you can see that it's pushed everything down. When you search for any query, AI reviewers at the top, PPC ads underneath it, LSA, sponsored ads, stuff like that. And then underneath that is the local SEO 3-pack. And then underneath that is the organic search. So organic search has been completely pushed down. The only thing that can be organically influenced at the top of the page now is local SEO. And we found that local SEO as a resource is still very, very good to use, especially because, and we hear this a lot from our clients, and we see this a lot, is that the lead quality for local SEO is significantly higher when they use the local search. So usually when people are using local search, they want a service right away. For example, like if they're in a high divorce conflict situation, if they're in a criminal case and they need a service right away, they usually use local SEO. And clients that are in that local SEO search have already skipped that informational phase. They're jumping right into the transactional phase and they want to retain right away, which is why leads are significantly higher quality. And then next up here is, how does AI choose your content? Well, with all the new AI platforms now, like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, it is so easy to create content in mass. It takes a few seconds to create a good piece of article. So there's just a huge surplus of content right now, and Google needed a way to figure out what content to showcase over your competitors. And we pinpointed it to two points. The first one is the credibility and trustworthiness of the author. And this could mean like years of experience of the lawyer or the author of the article. It could mean the knowledge base of them, but it basically means how credible they are within this field of expertise. The second point is brand authority. And brand authority can mean many things, but we have about six points here for it. The first one, premium lawyer directories. For example, if you were to search in ChatGPT and ask it to recommend you the best Seattle divorce lawyers, the top 5 results are usually sourced from premium lawyer directories right now. So for example, 4 out of 5 of them were super lawyer results or sourced from super lawyers. 1 out of 5 of them were Justia. So basically 5 out of 5 were from premium lawyer directories. So having that visibility within those directories are very important right now. And in the future, I could see that changing, but in the short term, being visible on those directories is pretty important. Second point, media mentions. So for example, if you were a medical malpractice law firm, and you just successfully settled a $15 million case, and then a bunch of media news outlets covered it, and you got really good positive media sentiment from it, this will boost your brand authority. Third point, awards. Awards could be things such as getting onto the best lawyer list on expertise.com, on 3 best rated, being included on a super lawyer list. All these awards are good differentiation factors compared to your competitors. And if you're already on these lists, then you're already ahead of most of your competitors. And then reviews. Reviews, pretty straightforward. It's how customers view your service as positive or negative. And these can be on incredible review platforms like Google Review or Yelp Review. So very important to build up that trustworthiness within the community, within those client reviews. And then next point, books such as like official publications, ebooks, white papers. This also kind of ties in with the authorship point, where it showcases that the lawyer and the author are very knowledgeable within this field. So for example, we have a client in New York. He wrote 2 books, one about how to win a custody, and then a second one about how to win a divorce. Both these books already made him a top 5% expert within divorce child custody in New York. And then I also used to work with old clients in where I live, Calgary, and he wrote a book about DUI, and that book is now being used as a textbook in university classes, and Google has recognized that. So when you search a transactional keyword like DUI lawyer, his name shows up right away as a very known brand. And then last but not least, social media, something that's overlooked quite a bit, especially in the agency environments. And now with the ever growing trend of AI and all this automation and whatnot, we feel that social media and all that is becoming even more important because people are going to they're going to crave more human interaction and social interaction. So just having that social media presence online will distinguish you from you and your competitors. But now I'll pass it on to Brooke to kind of talk about a bit more of how SEO and social media can work together to increase your AI visibility.
Yeah, thanks, Will. So I'm going to get into how social media and SEO really go hand in hand to increase your SEO and your AI visibility. But before we get into that, I really want to talk about the importance of having a plan. So having a solid content strategy that works with your SEO strategy that has personality to it. As Will said, AI is becoming more prevalent in just about everything that we do in social media as we search the web. And people are craving that human interaction, something that's relatable, something that allows them to connect. So with that being said, SEO has changed a lot. It's really not just about keywords anymore. It's about relevance, your reputation, and resonating with your audience. AI search has basically become a credibility scan for your entire brand. If your law firm's presence isn't clear, it's not strong, or it's inconsistent, AI simply isn't going to pick your answer. And let me be honest with you guys, a monthly blog isn't cutting it anymore. You need to have a real content strategy, one that works with SEO and one that builds authority across your practice areas. And I want to share with you a little bit about how we do that for our own law firms. We like to use what is called a hub and spoke strategy. So I want you to look at the plan on the left. That center point, that is your hub, that is your core topic. So this is where your keyword research comes in. If you're looking to strengthen keywords around divorce, child custody, immigration, whatever it is, that's going to be your core. Then you have all these spokes that connect back into it. This is your supporting content, things like FAQs, blogs, and even social media posts. Taking this kind of approach tells Google and AI that not only are you covering this topic, but you're the subject matter expert in it, you own it, and it's helping your entire digital footprint matter. When you have a plan, you know where your efforts are focused, you can better drive SEO efforts and work towards growing something in a really holistic way versus ending up like our friend on the right that's just scattered, confused, overwhelmed, and unsure of where to take things next. So I want to dive in just a little bit deeper with you. Now that we know it's really not just about your monthly blog anymore, the new reality is that search engines aren't just looking at your website anymore. They're pulling in signals from everywhere. And this includes LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and even directories. So when we're looking at this flow chart here, we're really looking at creating two things to enhance our AI and SEO visibility, and that's brand authority and topical authority. When you combine your brand presence and your social presence, this is how you're building brand authority. And brand authority signals to AI and search engines that you're a legitimate business, that you have a strong digital footprint, that you're highly visible, and that you're a credible source. When you combine your social presence and your content strategy, you're strengthening your topical authority. And this is proof that you know your subject matter inside and out. When you have both your brand authority and topical authority working hand in hand, that's what's going to really allow you to start earning more visibility on both AI and search engines. And this is really why law firms can't treat social media as a side project anymore. You can see social media is a core part of building not only your topical authority, but also your brand authority. It's directly impacting your search results. And I want to share an example with you guys of how you can use content to support topical authority. So this is an example from one of our own law firm websites in Nebraska. You can see I have a blog on our website on the left-hand side. This is the hub. This is our core topic about dividing property during a contested divorce. Then we have our spoke on the right side, which is our meta traffic ad. This ad is sending traffic back to our website, and this is what's allowing search engines to be signaled that we have a strong piece of content, that we're content owners in this piece of subject. Moving on, I'm going to get into a little bit about how you can write for humans and for machines. So this is how AI is going to choose your piece of content. They're looking for content that is easy to scan. It's easy to understand. It answers the questions in a clear manner, that your page is formatted in the appropriate way. So things like using bulleted lists or bolding content that you want the user to pay attention to, using questions in your headers and answering the question early on in the page rather than going about it in a roundabout answer, hoping that they'll scroll down, they'll read through the entire piece. Instead, Google and AI are both looking for things that a human would. And as a human, think about yourself. You want your answer right away. You want to be able to understand it. AI and search platforms are no different. And last but not least, you really want to make sure that you're following Google's EAT structure. I'm going to let Will talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, and EAT basically stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. It's the essentially the base foundation framework for evaluating if a content is up to par to Google's guidelines. So some type of actions you can use to implement this is displaying a clear author byline, showcasing who the author was, providing a background and their credentials. You could also demonstrate trustworthiness by showing client reviews, showing them what clients think about your service, and just adding this on the content, integrating it within your content will improve your EAT overall. And then on the next slide, we talk about a case study that we actually used to implement this. So for one of our clients in New York, he had really good content, but no good social proof, no credibility indicators or valid authorships. And he was not ranking too well on AI reviews. He was not being displayed or sourced at all. So what we did was we started adding that. We started adding authorships. We started adding his related publications. And his publications were those 2 books he wrote about, how to win a custody, how to win a divorce. And just adding those in already boosted up his credibility significantly. Some other points we added were external, internal links, and a strong call to action to improve user navigation, keep users engaged, keep them on the website. And then we also displayed some relevant reviews to try and showcase that trustworthiness that our client had. And as a result, when you search for how long do I have to pay a spousal support in New York, he shows up as the #1 sourced URL with a brand mention.
Thanks, Will. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, would AI choose your answer? That's the big question. You can see that we were able to get our client in New York to show up in that first link, outbound link in the AI overview. And that's really our goal for ourselves, our goal for our clients. So I have a before and after of one piece of content. This was for the same client in New York. So you can see on the left-hand side in the before, it's not very scannable. It's not very clear. You kind of have to read through the whole paragraph to get the answer you're looking for, versus on the right side in our after, we have, a really clear structure. It's easy to scan. It's easy to read. You can see, what are the types of child custody. You don't even have to read that first paragraph to see those 4 types. Your eyes can instantly scan it and, go where you're trying to look for, find the information you're trying to look for. This layout is also very similar to how AI overviews are displaying their answers in that first search result. So when you write in a way that's similar to how AI is picking up content and displaying content, it makes it more likely for them to choose your answer. This is how we've been getting ourselves and clients to show up in AI search results. And moving forward, I'm going to pass it back to Will. He's going to talk about what the future of AI search looks like.
Yeah, thank you, Brooke. So the future of AI search, using traditional SEO alone won't be enough anymore. It definitely needs to use a multi-channel approach where you're on all the social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, just showing your expertise across the web and not just on your single website will be very important, especially with the recent Google updates where they're now starting to crawl Instagram as a whole. So it just shows that Google is starting to prioritize social media presence a lot more now. And just having that applied to your campaign will significantly improve your brand authority. And then some likely predictions that I see would happen in the future would be some new SEO metrics, especially on analytics, showcasing like AI visibility, AI citations. So marketing experts will start using that data to further improve their methodology and techniques on how to get shown on AI reviews and AI answers more frequently. And then in the next era of search, we are starting to see big companies start to create AI browsers. So Perplexity, OpenAI, Google, they're all creating their own individual AI browsers. And with this new innovation, we can see this completely shifting the search completely. And this would become a conversational search instead of what it is now. So instead of having the remaining funnels of comparison funnel and transactional funnel on your website, that's going to be completely removed from your website and to the AI platforms. So being visible in AI search will be even more important, especially when clients can make a consultation off your website without even visiting it. And just the AI understanding your personalized results and recommending them specific lawyers, that's going to be a huge game changer. So winners of the AI search will be basically law firms and businesses with a good foundation and a good existing brand authority. And now passing on to Brooke to finish it up.
That brings us to the end of our webinar. We're going to be taking questions. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat and we'll answer them here in just a moment. But I want to encourage you, if you're wondering how your law firm's SEO presence, how your law firm's website is stacking up against competitors, to take advantage of our free SEO audit. We'll be sending out a follow-up email with the recording of this webinar, as well as the opportunity to submit a free SEO audit. We'll take a look, we'll go through everything, and then we'll get back to you with some recommendations to improve your law firm's SEO. And without further ado, we're going to get into some questions. So, Will, I think this one would be good for you to answer. What SEO platforms are best for legal marketing specifically?
So SEO platforms, I'm guessing as like SEO tools.
Yeah.
So right now, I think SEMrush is still doing a good job, but a lot of platforms trying to get AI data, they're still in their very like infancy stages. So a lot of them are not too great right now, but I can see in the near future, a bunch of them can improve, especially SEMrush. They already have like an AI section, but we tried it; it was not too great. But I think they're still continuing to work on it. So I would say they are one of my recommendations.
Cool. It looks like we have one more question. It's how do you think the new AI web browsers are going to affect Google and other search engines?
Yeah. So again, I think AI browsers will make it a conversational search. So when you use them, they're going to understand a lot more of your personal life. So, for example, they would know if I was looking for a divorce, they would know how many kids I would have. I would tell it like I have 3 kids. I was married for I don't know 2 years. And I'm looking for like an uncontested divorce. So they would understand your personalized search a lot more, and then it would recommend you like 5 or 10 lawyers, and then you would have to compare those results and choose your own. So I think all that research and transactional phase will stay on the AI browser and further reduce that amount of time people use your own website. So the marketing funnel will be completely be shifted towards that AI platform instead of your website.
Yeah, for sure. It's so interesting to see how people's behaviors around search has changed so much just even in the past year, with AI just becoming so much more accessible to the public, with search engines having their own AI overviews and search results. So it'll be really interesting to see how having an actual AI search browser changes things across the board for family law, for law firms in general, and just businesses in general. But that brings us to the end of our questions. So, like I said, we'll be sending out a follow up email with this recording and the opportunity to take advantage of our free SEO audit. I highly encourage you to do so. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week.